Welcome back. So, what are we doing today? We're going to be continuing our painting that we're doing for the California Fire Foundation. When I'm finished painting this one, it'll be auctioned off, and all the proceeds will be donated directly to them, as well as if you wish to donate, their link will be available in the description of this video. And as always, if you have anything you'd like to see me paint, you'd like to commission something for yourself, or you have any questions on art in general, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. I promise I'll try not to mess up the camera this time, so let's get to painting. I seriously almost messed it up again. You know, I've been doing this for about a year now, and the first time I've had this issue, now it's like twice in a row. But we don't gotta worry about that. Hello, your boy here, Rock Lee. Now I'm sure you're asking, what are we doing today? Well, it's gonna get wet and wild. Wet and wild? That's right, wet and wild. Rippin' and the tearin'? That's right, the rippin' and the tearin'. For I, the #1 pussy getter of the Hidden Leaf Village, will leave no bitches unmoistened. You're so cool, Rock Lee Sensei. Yes, I know. Okay, I'll stop doing that now. You know, it's funny, when I was a child, they said I was a very mature child. Now as an adult, they say I'm a very immature adult. But seriously, what are we doing today? I want to add shadow details to the water. Mainly for the islands and whatnot. The highlights will come later. It's what sounds interesting today. So I'm going to start with this little island over here. So now, you know when you have a... Here, I'll turn it right side up while I do the describing until I start working. So when you have a sunset... Scratch that. So when you have something by water, like let's say it's noon and you look at a pond surface, you might see things reflected in the water that are about 45 degree... That's about like a 45 degree angle from where you're standing, your viewpoint on the water, opposite to you. Well... when the sun's setting, you get black. You don't get light on the other side of an object. Like, if the sun was over us, you get that. But since it's there, anything that's in the water here, it's going to cast a shadow. A deep blue shadow. And that's why we got our darkest color, blue indigo here. I'll start with this little rock. Now, of course, I'm going to have to go and add details to, these rocks a little later on. Some shadowing and whatnot. And the Prismacolor... Here. This Prismacolor Premier pencil set, the 48 count pencil set, which I will say is a very impressive set of color pencils. Does not come with gray. It's one downside. So, I'll probably be using some rose art or something for that. Didn't Crayola turn out better in the test? I'll have to look at the test video and make sure. And sample the test video and put it here and try to remember to put a link in the description. But look, you see there I have... Looks like a very good little shadow. So we'll work on Gilligan's Island here now. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can do it here to where it's shadow, and it's going to sort of... Best way to describe this is go outside when there's sun. Right now, if there's sun. And if you look at your shadow, if you look down at your feet where your shadow starts, it's darker. And as it gets closer to your head, it's lighter. So you're going to want that to taper off like that. You're going to want your shadows to taper off like that in the water. But you might also use this effect if there's something under the water, like our Gyarados. Much like the first picture I did in this series, the Mudkip butt. How I got the... Oh man, I am spacing on his name right now. But how I got that Pokemon under the water, I just used blue to infer he was there. I mean, like, look at that already. Looks good, infers depth. That's why I wanted to do this. Really add into the picture before I go add in my light effects. So let's come up here and And of course, like you see this one, it's a little more on the left because the sun's there. So just like that, you got to think where the light source is coming from. This one, shadow's going to be a little more on the right. Republican shadow. All I'm saying is Eggman knows what's best for Mobius. Sonic and the Freedom Fighters are out of touch with reality and how the actual man wants to live his life. Personally, I think all rich people and politicians are out of touch with your average people and how they want to live their life and what they want out of it. But, you know, what do I know? That was really good right there. That's, man. You know, this isn't a sponsored ad, but if you haven't gotten Prismacolor pencils yet and you're on the fence, well, again, you can watch my video to see, but, man, I gotta tell you, it's really... I put myself through a lot of work for a lot of years not using these. I should have just used them and saved a lot of time. So this one's kind of weird because this rock is right here. I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna do the rock first, and then start doing the island around it, so they kind of blend together. And then I'll probably do Gary last there. You know, since starting the series, I've joined a lot of Pokemon art groups, and there's a lot of different kinds of Pokemon art out there. You can always tell who the fetish artists are right away because of how they draw the hips and whatnot. But, man. I mean, like, even when they're trying not to make it look like it's like you're just so used to drawing them that way, I guess. But you can tell, like, what people's inspirations are a lot of the time by looking at it. Like, oh, they like this kind of... They like the cards, or, oh, they like these parts of the show, or, oh, they liked this. I really like those Pikachus they did with the geisha, where they made it like classic Japanese art. Personally, again, I like nature scenes. See how it's softening now? So I'm just going to try to... That's why I did that stone separately, because it kind of, you can see the shadowing has different depths of darkness depending on where it is, how close it is to its source. I have to add a lot of layers of depth here. Now I'm doing shadowing. I'm also going to infer a little bit. You know how, like the classic Nessie, how it like serpents through the water. It's funny how, like, a lot of times in, especially medieval art, they always have snakes going up and down, but it's like they would have went left to right. I put a little shadow in here. Actually didn't take that long at all, did it? Do a little lighter shadow on this one. Do the long shadows. Looks pretty good. That made our water look a lot deeper. So now I'm sure you, like I am, wondering what are we going to do next? And I would like to do touch-ups on the water, but I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted. I'm going to test a little Prismacolor, though, on some sample I have here. And then we will probably do the rocks real quick, just because they're bothering me. And then do that. So first, let's find some orange, y'all, and see which one closely matches. So this one's called Poppy Red. Yeah, that's definitely red. The paint looked more orange, I swear. Alright, what's here now? This one is just called Orange. And it's kind of close. But our sunset looks a bit lighter than that, if you ask me. We have, again, our Spanish Orange. Will not match up too well itself. So, you know, and Goldenrod. And I think what I'm going to have to do is just take the orange and touch up inside of the sun with it a bit so it's a little more even. Whatever color I use. We'll decide on that though while I do some rocks. So let me get out my highly professional Crayola gray here. Personally, I think it's funny sometimes to see like how many different, not just brands of things, but like mediums went into one piece. You might be thinking, Ricky, it seems like you're avoiding doing watercolor on this piece. And you know what? You're right. I am. I want to go up and finish with some watercolors later if I have to, but I'd really like to finish this one with color pencil. Oh yeah, those look way better. Not just the dirt standing out to me. That took care of that little itch in my brain, though. So now, what did we decide on for our sun highlight? We didn't. But you know what? I have one step I did forget is right here, this orange. So, yeah, you know what? When I actually do it in the orange, it doesn't look too off, does it? Make sure it's in camera. So this one is Goldenrod. Looks really dark. Looks brown. And then the other yellow. Oh, the other yellow mixes really nice with the orange. But what does it do to the blue? So let's go with the one I think we're going to touch up with. It sets right on top beautifully. So we're going to go with this one. The orange. Or as it says in the other language, orange. Which makes me realize the other language must indeed be French or something. Because if it was Spanish, it would be naranja. Which is my favorite version of Pokemon. Just because I love saying Pokemon naranja. And yes, I am over-accentuatingly rolling my R's when I say naranja. Peggy Hilling the hell out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around my rim. I'm try to give it a light hazy overlayer. Maybe help simulate that atmospheric effect with the pulpy grain of the paper. You know, sometimes I say stuff like that and I wonder if it's just like complete nonsense to most people. They're just like, what the heck is this guy talking about? Doing a little smudging here. A lot of people would say absolutely use paper. I had teachers who showed me finger, and you know, personally I prefer finger. Uncle Raja method, always use finger. But you know, to each their own. It's a little cleaner to use the smudger if you have fresh smudgers. But who wants to keep making smudgers? Some people some people sell smudgers, but I mean, yeah, it seems even weirder to me. What I'm probably gonna do is like some orange waves, really, and then they're gonna have like dark under them. Yeah, like that. Just doing some light shading. Give it a little consistency all over. A little smudgy smudge. That's the one thing that's nice about the Prismacolor. Well, it's good and bad depending on the situation, but is that you can smudge it. It's a very soft color. What we're going to do is just make little wavy waves. On the water. That's already breaking it up pretty nicely. So we'll keep doing that for a while. Just keep adding orange wavy colors. Like Naruto when he gets really mad because someone said something about Sasuke. And you think, is this guy gonna keep making Naruto chokes? I'll tell you, you better believe it. Okay. That looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is go in with my blue, my dark blue, and just under these waves. I want to make sure to go with the shape. That's why I'm kind of just picking lines and going off of them, because those are indeed our waves. And as you can see, it's giving us kind of a light little wavy effect. Like all things, adding a little light and shadow helps really create depth with your image. And a lot of this is not even stuff that people are necessarily going to look at and be like, oh my god, it's just, they won't think about it. And that's really what you want, is that they're just going to be more drawn in. It's going to look more like what they would expect. From looking at the real thing, you know? Go fill in this area a bit. There's one right here. Darkening a little bit around this guy's mouth just to give him more pop. I'm not even trying to really make it look like he's shadowed. I'm trying to not make it look like he's shadowed, but give him more zeal than the other ones, I guess. It's like over here, I don't need to be filling this in, but I am. Now that I got that, the next step, let's see how much time I got. Okay, we got time for a little bit more today. So, you're just going to put little brackish lines. What these lines are going to do is then hold more light. But it's going to be more fragmented. It's going to be like spotty. And I should have checked this before if I could really do this, because now I'm going to have to try on a different piece of paper, hope it works. Otherwise I'm going to have to touch it up later with acrylic or something else. But what you want is shines, little peaks, little shines on the water. So there is a white. They did give me a white. So let's pull out our example once again. Just make some nice little peaks like we were doing there. Make them look a little more mechanical. There. So what you do is you go and then you just add a little white dots, and it's really not showing up. So that's something I will go and add with acrylic later, unless I forget. Much like I did for the shine in the gift and for other ones. Like I'll probably do to this guy's eyes at some point. So what I'm going to do is just go in here, try to fill this in a little better. Let's get a little more saturated, a little more softer, a little more believable. That's what's standing out to me at the moment. I'm trying not to go over my edge there. But I think the transition with the edge is pretty good. And what I did is I made it darker. But yeah, those little waves now, they're just carrying little bits of light. You have what is turning into a lovely little sunset. Now, unfortunately, as I'm sure your time is, that's all the time I have for you today. But as you can see, I think our picture has touched up quite a bit. Again, this one will be auctioned off and sold for the California Fire Foundation. So if you want to buy this one, you very much will have the opportunity to do so. And as always, if there's anything else you'd like to see me paint or draw or do on the channel, feel free to recommend it, you know. Even if you're not a paying customer, if I like your idea enough, you know, I'll probably end up drawing it and keeping it or selling it for something else. Also, if you have any charities you think are worthwhile you'd like me to look at, love to hear about those too. But till next time, thank you for your time. And, you know, I hope you learned something today. I kind of did.